This is a video where I'm going to go over some of the software requirements that we need for CIT 160. If you look in the syllabus, under software, we need two things in order to take part in this class. You need first a good text editor, and it gives some examples: Notepad++ for Windows, Text Wrangler for Mac OS, or Cite for Linux. And you also need the latest version of Chrome. Let's start with getting Chrome installed. So if you go to a search page and type in Google Chrome, one of the options will be a download install Google Chrome. So click on that link. The web page ends up being www.google.com/Chrome, but you can search for it just to make sure that link doesn't change. You click on the link here where it says download Chrome. You accept the terms and install, and then it'll download an executable called Chrome Setup.exe. If you run that executable, you'll give it permission to do it, and then it'll start downloading and installing Chrome onto your computer. These instructions should be about the same whether you're using Windows or Macintosh, or Linux for that matter. Linux, you'd probably use something called Chromium instead of Chrome, but if you have any questions about Linux, you can ask me directly. Okay. The second thing you need for this class is a good text editor. Now, text editor, there's lots of different text editors out there, and what you need is a text editor that's made for developing programs, or specifically for developing web pages, so HTML and JavaScript. Most operating systems come with a very basic text editor, like Windows comes with something called Notepad, but Notepad really isn't very good for our purposes in this class. You need something that has a few more options, a few more features than just a very, very basic editor like Notepad. Also, the Macintosh comes with a text editor. Don't use that one at all. Sometimes what that text editor likes to do is change some of the characters, like specifically quotation marks, into a kind of quotation mark that JavaScript cannot understand. So do not use the built-in text editor for on your Macintosh. You need to download something. These are all really good options. The one I use is actually not listed here. It's called Visual Studio Code, and it's made by Microsoft, and so I'm going to show you how to download that one. So you do a search for Visual Studio Code, and the website is code.visualstudio.com. You go there, and right here in this green button there will be a link for you to download it, to install it. It's also available for Mac OS and also Linux. They all so there's a version for no matter what operating system that you're using. So go ahead and click the link. It will automatically download as soon as the web page is finished loading. Or you can also click on this direct download link. Maybe I'll do that to speed things along. So we're waiting. it'll download a program called VSCode user setup.exe. As soon as that's done, you go ahead and run it. And go through it, a typical installer. You accept the terms where it's going to install. Just hit next throughout the whole thing. It'll go ahead and install Visual Studio Code. Like so. You hit finish. It should launch the program for you. So I'm going to go ahead and maximize it here. Alright, Visual Studio Code, it'll start with this black background. In order to start a new file, it has a link right here called New File, or you can go up to File, New File, right here, and just give you a blank page. I'm going to do a really quick HTML file here, so you can kind of see how it works. There's a head and a body. You'll learn what all this stuff is in the lesson this week. HTML, and then inside the body I'm just going to put one big thing that says hello world. Okay, this is a super duper simple web page. Okay, since this is HTML, we need to let the VS Code know that we're working in HTML. You do this by going down to the lower right hand corner, and right here where it says plain text, you click on that and it'll give you a whole bunch of options of what kind of text you're writing. In this class, you'll always want it to be HTML, so go ahead and choose HTML. And so now the text editor knows that we're using HTML, and you'll notice that something here, it turns these HTML tags blue. And this is called color coding, and as we're going through this semester, you'll understand what the different colors mean in your HTML file when it's in your text editor. And this color coding kind of helps you tell when you have maybe mistakes or errors or things like that. And so that's why having a text editor with more features really helps you in your programming. It works the same with JavaScript and the other things that we're going to be using in this class. So now we have VS Code knows that this is HTML, so it knows how to color code all the key words here. Something else that is nice to use is if you do the key combination. Sorry, I'm going to close this. Alt-Shift-F. It'll actually create the indents for you. And as you go through this class, you'll see that really comes in handy as you're making your program. So, just a couple little tips. Once you have your program, you'll want to save it. So you go to File and Save, or Control-S will also save it. You'll see right here that it automatically puts the .html extension on your file, because VS Code we already told it that it is an HTML file that we're working with. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the desktop. I'll call it sample. Oops, if I can spell correctly. Sample.html, and I'll hit save. So you see right here where it puts the name of the file here. I put it on the desktop, and so you can see right here that it is indeed sample.html. It looks like the Chrome logo. Now, in order to look at this web page that we just created in VS Code, you can do a couple things. The easiest thing is to double click on it, and if it has the Chrome logo like this, it'll automatically open it up in Chrome. And it'll show it, hello world, just like that. The next thing it does, or another way, if it doesn't have the Chrome logo on it, maybe it has the Microsoft Edge logo or something like that, and you need to say, okay, all HTML files I want to use with Chrome for, you can right click on it and you say open with, and it should list your different web browsers. If you do choose another application, even if Chrome is in the list, if you do choose another app and you click on this box, always use this app to open .html files and make sure Chrome is selected here and hit OK. That'll open it up in Chrome every time, and then from then on out, all your HTML files will have this Chrome logo, just like that. Now, the third way you can open it up, so I have a Chrome, you can just open up Chrome just on its own, and it goes to its default page. If you do Control O, it brings up a dialog box so you can select the file that you want to open. So in this case, sample.html, hit open, and again, it opens it right here. So, so in this class you need Chrome, you need a good text editor. I will be using, in all my examples, Visual Studio Code because it's the one I'm most comfortable with. You're welcome to use any text editor that you like. Make sure it has good color coding and some things that help you as write web pages as part of the features of the text editor. But any of those that are in the list of suggestions would work just fine. Notepad++, Text Wrangler, Cite, any of those will work great. And then after we write our web pages in our JavaScript, we need to be able to open them, open the file into the web browser like this. And this is where we're going to be able to view our web pages and see our JavaScript work throughout the whole rest of the semester. I'm hoping that this little video tutorial helps you kind of get started with the program starting this week. So, good luck.